Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's a bit messy. This is where I sit. It feels a bit dark. I don't know what I can do about the light. Anyway, I'm wondering whether it will make a difference if I guess I should have really practiced all this stuff, but I'm a bit of a wing it. Does that make a difference? I don't know. My pencil case is really jarring with me. Let's just see if this makes a difference with the old light. Um, does that help? Oh, we'll see how we get on. So I wanted to just chat to you like I do every Wednesday, just with some useful hints and tips and just motivational ideas, or whether it's just kind of like food for thought. So for those of you who don't know, I am a one-to-one diet consultant with Cambridge Weight Plan. I'm also a qualified and mindset NLP coach, and I'm also going through I'm doing a diploma, a weight loss NLP diploma, which is something that obviously I want to absorb and pass on to my clients because I think it really helps. And one of the things that we're talking about, which we were discussing yesterday in my session, was the three requisites for change. And with a weight loss journey, which is obviously what we're talking about in particular, is that if you're in a place right now where you're feeling in a place of unease, discomfort, low confidence, not able to wear the clothes that you want to, or lacking in energy, feeling pain, and you want to move away. You've realized that you don't want to accept where you are, and you want to, your future self wants to be very different from where you are right now. And the only thing that is going to happen, or the only thing that, we need to accept, that change is necessary. There's so many phrases and sayings. If you always did what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and so on. So it is that kind of like making peace of going, you know what, I'm going to have to make the change, because if I don't, then all the habits that I've had, allowed, created, if I continue to allow those habits in my life, then I'm not going to change. My future self is going to be no different, potentially worse off than where I am right now. And that's something that, a lot of us get to the point and we think we've got to do something about it. And it could be a stone, but it's just started slowly to creep up. And obviously what we want to do is make sure that we nip it in the bud. And you could be only having a stone to lose. You could have way more, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it is that understanding and acceptance of things are going to have to change. And we're a bit nervous of change, and we feel a bit threatened by change because it takes us out of our comfort zone, and it's asking us to do something that we haven't done in a while or ever done before. And we're worried that we might fail with this new change, or, whether we're going to enjoy it. And sometimes, we stay in this very small little tight circle, because even though we don't want to be here, it's almost like our safety blanket. And it is having the realization of knowing that we've created this little circle. And as much as we've created it, we can break it down and we can get rid of it, and we can grow and we can evolve and we can get the results that we want by accepting that change is necessary. It is absolutely fundamental. So as a client, as a slimmer, as a coach, there are certain things that that we need to understand and accept, and I'm going to run through them with you. It's called the 3 requisites for change, and I thought this was really interesting because sometimes we decide to do something and we just kind of go through the motions, and we're a bit on autopilot about it. And every now and then we need to just reconnect with our acceptance of change, why we're doing it, for what purpose, and the things that we need to do and set in place in order to achieve that. So The first things that I always encourage my clients to is to, let's work collaboratively, let's work together. It's called the one-to-one diet. It is very much a personal journey. Yes, I've got my WhatsApp group and I've got all of my other Facebook groups, etc. But the journey that you have and the support that you get is encouraged on a very much on a one-to-one basis. From all of my virtual clients, I am a virtual consultant, which means that I do offer all of my support. I can support you no matter where you are based in the UK, which is great. There is no location barrier. So if you're thinking about starting the journey and would like for me to be your consultant, if you're based in the UK, that is not a problem. I'm also starting face-to-face appointments. So if you are in my local area of North Somerset, Bristol, then message me, because I am running face-to-face appointments out of a salon based in Portishead on Fridays. So we can also have a conversation in real life, which is really exciting. So that relationship between us is imperative. And I always say the more frequently you have your catch-ups, the better your results are, the more supported you're feeling, the more encouragement and tips and advice. And I know that sometimes, we show up when we're doing really well and we're all excited. And when we take a bit of a dip, or we have a bit of a wobble, we tend to go a bit quiet. And it's in those moments where we're struggling, where we're, feeling like that we haven't done so well, or we've failed, that we just think, oh, there's no point. That is exactly when you need your consultant, your coach the most, is for that support, is that someone to lean to and say, I need your help, I've lost my way, how can I get back on it? And that is my role, and that is what I'm here to do. So yeah, be 100% committed. I'm 100% committed into supporting you. So commit yourself 100% to getting the results that you want. If there's any tasks, so whether it's to write a food diary, or, to journal or something, do the tasks, embrace yourself in it, immerse yourself in this journey, because the more that you approach it with an open heart and you are accepting, the easier it will be. And also, I guess that the most important thing is to have personal responsibility for change, because no one else can do this change work for you. I mean, it would be amazing, but that if you want to get the results, you are going to have to do the work. I could give you all the tools, all the encouragement, all the hints and tips and guidance, but I can't do the work for you. That's something that you're going to have to bring to the table, show up and say, you know what, if I want to make this work, I'm going to have to do the work. And if you're prepared to do that, then we are halfway there already. The second thing, so with obviously there's all those little subcategories within that one. The second thing is set your intention. Know what it is you want. What is it you want? And sometimes you just say, oh, I could really do with losing a stone. But what does that stone mean for you? Does it mean that you're reducing your BMI? Does it mean that you're able to feel confident going on a work conference? Does it mean that you're able to take the kids swimming? Do you want to get back into your jeans? Like, what is it that's important to you? So know what you want and know what you have to do to get there. Set boundaries with friends, families, colleagues, etc. When we embark on a journey, and it could be about anything, whether it's a weight loss journey, whether it's, going to leave a job and starting something, a whole new career, everybody, having people on board and supporting you is really, really helpful. Now, you might be okay with publicly sharing that you're on this journey with your wider circle, your friends, your family, and to ask for their support and help is really going to help take that pressure off you, because if they're on board with supporting you, you are able to move around more freely without having to apologize, or for it to be like the elephant in the room every time you bring out a product or whatever it is. So having their support and understanding that this is your journey and you're doing it for you is really, really helpful. So let them know that you are making changes and you would really like the support. And if you are keeping that quiet and you don't want to publicly share your journey, then really set your boundaries within yourself, as to what you are prepared and not prepared to do. So if there's a work event and there's the donuts that have come out, set your boundaries within, just very politely decline, no, thank you. You don't have to share what you're doing, who with, but make sure that you are strong enough, and resilient enough to say, you know what, these are my boundaries, and I'm not going to bend or flex them for anything to, stop myself. We're so worried, oh, I better say yes to the donut or yes to the glass of wine. I don't want to look rude. I don't want to look like, ungrateful. However, all we're doing is we're giving our power to other people. When we're doing things and accepting things for other people, we are putting what we want further down the pile, and we have to remain strong and saying, you know what, this is what I want. These are my priorities, and I'm not giving other people my power. So it's really important that you stress within yourself and to your family what your boundaries are. There's going to be resistance. There are going to be some people have opinions, and tell you what they think you should be doing, and just remain strong and say, you know what, that's their opinion, and they're entitled to their opinion. This is what I want. This is what I want. I've said yes all my life to other people and I've appeased them. I'm doing this for myself because my happiness is important. My health, my well-being is important to me. And this is what I want to do. So there might be some pushback or some questioning, judgment, opinions. Let it go. Just let it go. Discuss any changes. So if there's anything that's coming up, whether it's birthdays, holidays, or weddings or something that you feel that is going to be a tricky thing to overcome or navigate, reach out to me. Let's have a chat. It's what I'm here for. So I will help you get through that. Be prepared. This is the number 3, is be prepared to continue the process. So what we want is, our goal is to get you to your maintenance goals. So when you're starting this journey, it's like, right, we want to get you into maintenance. We want to get you into that maintenance. So it's being prepared to accept that this is an ongoing journey. This is an amazing journey of creating a new healthy relationship, a new healthy lifestyle, because getting to your goal weight is not something goes right, but bish bash bosh, done it. This is a right, okay, now I need to work on establishing that relationship with food, and making sure that those good habits are really embedded, because old habits, bad habits have been embedded, and we've worked really hard to get to the point where we have eradicated them. And now what we want to do is to establish new healthy habits. And the only way to keep them prevalent is by repeating them. It's not something that we do once and then it stays off forever. I've been maintaining my weight loss now for 8 years, and it's something that you unconsciously, but you work on every day. You are aware of what you're eating and how you're moving and you're sleeping, etc. Because no one wants to go backwards. You don't want to go back and think, oh gosh, I want to put all that weight back on the start again. This is about that education, that understanding of, right, I've got to this point. Now I need to keep up the work. Now I need to keep showing up, doing the work. And being 100% responsible for the upkeep of your changes going forward. It's the same thing, is that when you were losing the weight, it was no one else's responsibility but yours. And it's the same with your maintenance. It is 100% solely your responsibility, and it's about choosing what's important to you. What is a priority? Is it the random takeaway on a Wednesday night just because you can't be bothered to cook? Or is it, do you know what, I'm going out with the girls on Saturday night and I'd much rather enjoy that unapologetically guilt-free than have a can't be bothered lazy dinner on the Wednesday. So it's all about that balance and taking accountability for those decisions and actions. And just, the failure to take action on this means that it's very possible to slip back into your old way of thinking and habits very quickly. So accepting that action is always going to be required, whether it's at the beginning or a continuation of the ongoing of your journey. So yeah, so that's the 3 requisites for change. I hope that you found it useful. When you're going to, if you want to embark on this journey, just kind of like knowing of what's going to happen, and and to get excited and to think about, this is a real opportunity for me to move away from this feeling of, discomfort, unease, embarrassment, ill health, pain, and all of that requires that letting go and building new habits. And it does take time. It's not something that just magically happens overnight. It is something that takes time. That is, it is a frequent process, but hopefully it's something that when you are seeing the change and you're feeling the effects and you're hearing, positive comments and compliments, and your clothes are feeling better and you've got more energy, you will appreciate how worth it is. So if you would like any more information about the one-to-one diet, how I can help you on plan, then yeah, feel free to reach out and message me. Thanks so much.